On September 27th, the WGA ratified a new contract with major Hollywood studios after 5 long months of striking. 99% of the Writers Guild of America have now voted in favor of a new 3-year minimum basic agreement with the Alliance of Motion and Picture Television. This marks a significant milestone for a union that has remained resilient in its approach.
Like being a writer on strike, these past 5 months kind of felt like almost like a second COVID. You know, everything has shut down. The jobs are gone. Nothing is still made.
Screenwriter and NYU film and TV graduate Avishai Weinberger picketed for 46 days in solidarity with the union.
Could you explain what picketing is?
Picketing is when you walk around with a sign and you yell chants. You show up, you grab a sign, you walk in circles, always walking, because if you stop, it's loitering. Doing it at locations where the people you're striking are working. So at headquarters of studios, at sound stages, where they're shooting TV shows, picketing was a way to prevent shows from happening. It was a way to cost the studios money directly. It was a way to really make a hard statement there and say, no, we're not passively waiting for you to get over this.
How did the writers remain hopeful throughout the strikes, and did the morale change from day 1 to day 148?
There were definitely times where hope was fading. You know, just bouts of depression along the way. You know, it would not be unusual to be out on the picket line, excited, marching with friends, chanting, "What do we want? Contract. When do we want it now?" Very happy, and then come home and be like, "Man, it's gonna go on forever."
And at one point for picketers, hope fell to an all-time low.
There was a very infamous article on the website Deadline, the Hollywood trade website Deadline, where some anonymous executives came forward saying, "Our end game is to wait this out through October until the writers are all, you know, losing their houses and have no choice but to take a deal. And it's a cruel and necessary evil."
It was scary during the strike because you didn't know when the strike was going to end.
Kat Ballou, an NYU student majoring in dramatic writing, shares her experience amidst the strikes as an aspiring screenplay writer.
It was a lot longer than a lot of strikes have been in the past. Now I'm glad that it won't be going on while I'm graduating.
Could you explain what this agreement looks like?
The 3 biggest concerns that the writers had going into this contract negotiation were with regards to writers' rooms for TV, residuals for streaming, and AI. They wanted minimum staffing for writers' rooms because writers saw the writing on the wall that the studios were trying to remove the writers' room altogether and reduce it to gig work. The other biggest issue was artificial intelligence. Like I explained before, making sure that artificial intelligence doesn't undercut writer pay or writer credit.
It's a problem that we can't fight and that it's going to be taking over the industry anyways, but I think writers are still needed. I don't think an AI script would actually equate to anywhere as good as an actual writer.
This was a rough moment for screenwriters. Technology is changing and studios are finding ways with the new technology to squeeze writers a little bit more. And it reached a point where writers looked at what the studios were doing and said, "Oh, you're not just finding ways to underpay us, you're trying to find ways to remove us altogether."
In an effort to support the WGA, many actors participated in the strikes against the Hollywood studios. This compounded to a $6 billion loss in economic revenue in the state of California alone.
SAG had been on the picket lines with the writers from day 1. I noticed every single day that I was there were people holding SAG supports WGA signs. Every single day. So now that the Writers Guild has a deal, now it's our turn to show off for that.
There's strength in numbers. So with SAG supporting the WGA and the WGA supporting SAG, then there's more people than there were if it was just the WGA supporting the WGA and SAG supporting SAG.
This togetherness can also be seen with other film-based unions, such as the Teamsters, who represent drivers, casting directors, location scouts, and more.
We were trying to, put some economic pain on the studios so they would go back to the table. And members of the Teamsters Union, members of IDOTC, crew across the board, voluntarily refused to cross the picket lines so as to make it effective. And that was worth so much to the Writers Guild. That was so helpful for rallying solidarity to actually keep, member strength up long enough to outlast the studios.
It shows how strong the union is, and it shows that they actually can get things that they demand by the studios.
Although this newly ratified contract marks a significant step forward in this 5-month-long labor dispute, the agreement dismisses the demands of the numerical majority and is ultimately still a work in progress.